Hello and welcome to the OCVarsity Gridiron Extra. This is our Week 8 show. We are here at Mission Viejo, but today we are talking about our favorite moments from the Mater Dei Servite rivalry. I'm your host, Jonathan Khamis. To my left is Dan Albano. To my right is Steve Fryer. These two teams are facing off at Angel Stadium this Friday night. Last year, guys, Mater Dei beat Servite 2017. The last time Servite beat Mater Dei was back in 2011. Dan, I'll start with you. What is your favorite moment from this rivalry?
You know, when I go to games, I just like to see a competitive game. I love to see have a good storyline. You know, so mine was 2006 when, you know, this is when Servite was really trying to knock on the door and break the streak. And they missed at the end of regulation. Actually, it was Steve Fryer's son, Sean, was an senior offensive lineman. I think he played left tackle. And that was
right tackle. Matt Khalil was the left tackle.
Okay. Senior, he was a tackle. That was his senior year. But the storyline is just the drama of that game. It went down to the end of regulation. Servite had a field goal, pretty makeable field goal that hit the crossbar or something, or the side, the upright, and that sent the game to overtime. And that was a heartbreaker for Servite. They ended up losing that game. And Coach Rolson talked about the three stripes and the magic of the three stripes at Mater Dei, and that's what got him to overtime. So that was a dramatic game, and that's all. I don't care who wins or lost. You know, I don't care. But a good story, and that certainly was an intriguing story.
Yeah, we all root for stories, regardless of whether some of you are led to believe. We all root for stories here at the Register. My favorite moment was back in 2009, guys, when Servite finally beat Mater Dei after, what, like 20 years or something like that. And the scene there was incredible with all of the fans. I mean, there were tears. There were fireworks going off. I mean, it was quite the scene, and it was fun to be a part of. Steve, your favorite moment in this historic rivalry?
Well, certainly that one, and I guess it's been 6 years. I can finally say it. Steve Hamrock, you did the fireworks. I know you did, okay?
Statute of limitations is up now, right?
Civic Center across the street. Hamrock, I know it was you. But anyway, no, that was a terrific game. But, you know, Dan, you know, you were bringing up the 2006 game and how close it was. And my son was a big player on that team, had a great game. And I got nauseous again thinking about that, so thanks a lot. But, you know, also, like, I think it was the year before, right, where
Matt Barkley, 2008.
Matt Barkley with that crazy throw with Matt Khalil wrapped around his ankles, and that deep ball to Andrew Abbott about the 50. Sound that's like my head about to explode when I'm still thinking about that 06 game and how close.
World War II flashbacks, you know, exactly. It's getting kind of scary.
I got post-traumatic.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's a great rivalry, and you know, no matter who wins, it's always spectacular. Gosh, I remember in '91 or '92 the 0-0 tie also. A.J. Gass was great in that game for Servite. My golly, there's so many great games.
Yeah, it goes back a long ways.
I mean, there's a lot of great rivalries in Orange County, and we can list a bunch of them, but it's hard to top Mater Dei Servite. You know,
in terms of size and scope, it's tough.
They're playing this game at Angel Stadium on Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff.
Angel Stadium.
Both schools are already selling tickets. I mean, it's an event, and the kids in the communities of these schools, they look forward to this game all year, and that's the reason they play it at the Big A.
Yeah, it's fun to be a part of, but this year specifically, guys, let's preview the matchup between Mater Dei and Servite, both coming off losses in the uber tough Trinity League. I know, Steve, you've outlined it many times, how important it is to get a top 3 seeding in that Trinity League. Last week, Servite lost in heartbreaking fashion to Orange Lutheran last second there, guys. And Mater Dei just kind of got handled by St. John Bosco, who, what did you say, Steve, was pretty much untouchable?
Untouchable.
Yeah, they are. So for this week in particular, I know Aaron Simpson has done pretty well here for the Friars with 2 rushing touchdowns last week. But Dan, what are you looking forward to? Do you think Mater Dei bounces back after that tough loss to Bosco?
I do think they'll play better. Yeah. You know, Coach Rolson has been talking for the last couple weeks that his team has been having too many penalties, not executing, not aligning correctly. Now that message gets to be backed up by their first loss of the year. So I expect the Mater Dei to play really well. The only thing is that the Servite team is extremely scrappy. It's Scott Meyer, you know, first-year staff, their first chance at this rivalry. I think they're going to do really good, and I think Servite's going to be in almost every game they play this year. You know, the last 2 games, you know, against Orange Lutheran and Jay Sarah, going down to the last play. So I look for Servite to really compete. This is a touchdown game.
Rawlinson's been at Mater Dei for forever. He's been there for quite some time. The Servite coaching staff has a little bit of turnover the last, what, 5-6 years, Steve. So first-year head coach Scott Meyer, as you mentioned, Dan, how important is it for these first-year head coaches to instill in their players how important of a rivalry game this is and how much goes into it and the importance of coming out on top?
Well, Scott knows something about, Scott Meyer, the Servite coach, knows something about rivalry games. Battle of the Bay, the Newport Harbor thing, man, that thing is huge, you know.
He won that series a lot.
Yeah, and he got Corona del Mar, you know, winning those games. So he knows about that. He knows how to get those guys ready for a big emotional game. But you got to put all that stuff aside and focus on the game at hand. And you know, Servite, you know, they've got the capability to win this game. Things had to go really right for them. They have to, you know, control that passing game. Mater Dei throws the ball pretty deep, and they're going to burn you. And so they got to be on top of that. They got to put some pressure on JT Daniels, the freshman quarterback of Mater Dei.
Had a lot of pressure last week.
Yeah, well, with Bosco's going to do that to everyone except for maybe Centennial. You know, that's the only team I think can match up. But getting back to this game, guys, you know, I think Mater Dei is going to win this football game. I think that they've got, you know, all the tools, the better tools in place. Maybe a little bit faster on defense. That defensive secondary is pretty good.
You had a sneaky suspicion about Servite, you told me, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick Mater Dei to win, but I think it's going to be an extremely close game. I think it will be surprising. I think Servite's going to maybe have a lead in this game, early or first half, second half. They're going to be right in this ball game, and I think they'll probably surprise and I think impress people how hard they play. But I'm expecting Mater Dei to really bounce back. You know, in fellas, like, you know, the game, you know, within the game a little bit is you know you have the St. Brown brothers who are well established, you know, up-and-coming players at Servite. Now they're playing for Mater Dei. You know, it's always amazing when you have the transfers go from one school to the rival school. That's pretty, and that's, you know, that's going to be a lot of people going to be talking about watching Osiris and Amon-Ra, who's outstanding kids, but they're going against their old classmates. That's going to be a game within themselves because, you know, Servite's got great DBs, and those kids are very talented receivers. That should be pretty fun.
We'll see where the bragging rights in the St. Brown household go because Equinemius played for Servite.
Yeah, and he I think he blocked a punt for Notre Dame.
There we go.
In their victory over USC. And the kid who played on this field, Max Redfield, had an interception in that game as well. So some SoCal guys helping out the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, good to see our OC boys doing great in the NCAA Division I or any level. We love to see the kids succeed. All right, thanks to Dan Albano, thanks to Steve Fryer. I'm your host, Jonathan Khamis, and for all your latest football updates, check out OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.